Hi, everyone, and welcome to a special episode of e-reading. My name is Elvin, and today I will not be reading, but I will be going over the top 5 books that I've read in the past month. So it's been a month since I started this channel, and I started reading these books, and I've been having lots of fun. But one of the things that I'm learning is because I have to mark most of my videos as made for kids, there's no opportunities for comments or anything like that because it doesn't allow it for the safety and protection of children, which is great. But I also end all of my videos with, let me know if you like the book, let me know if there's any other books you'd like me to read, and I realize there's no opportunities for you to do that. So I'd like to make these videos, one, to highlight some books that you might have not read before or you haven't heard of that I really liked, but two, also to get some of your feedback, what I'm doing, what I can improve on, maybe keep some of the voices a bit more consistent as I'm reading these books. But also, if there's any other books that you can recommend to me, I would love to know. We still have a bunch of children's books at home that I'm going to go through, and I'm just trying to go through our local library. But if you have any books, kids' books that you think are appropriate, that are great reads, please leave a comment and let me know, and I'll see if I can borrow them from the library and read them for the channel. So thank you in advance for that. So without further ado, my top 5 that I've read this past month. Number 1, Grumpy Monkey. Grumpy Monkey is a book that I had seen around the bookstores, and it's always on these top lists of best-selling kids books, and I had no idea what it was about. I loved that the monkey was so large and grumpy on the front cover, and I read it without knowing anything about it, and I was very pleased to find it was a great story about a monkey who was grumpy but was pretending to not be. And actually, he finds out that maybe being honest with yourself and admitting that you're grumpy is actually okay. And it's okay to be grumpy every now and then. And it's better to be honest and to tell people, yeah, maybe I'm a little grumpy today, maybe a little more space, then you can feel a little bit better, as opposed to pretending you're happy when you're not. So that's Grumpy Monkey, my number 1. These are in no particular order. I mostly love all of the books that I'm reading, but these are just 5 I wanted to highlight with you. There are the follow-up sequels to Grumpy Monkey, Up All Night, and Party Time. And I thought those were okay. They weren't quite as good as the original Grumpy Monkey, but I did videos for those too, so you can check those out. Number 2 on my top 5 is Every Night is Pizza Night. I love this book so much. This book was instantly the top of my mind when I wanted to start this channel and start reading. When I found out about this book, I instantly bought it for my kids. It's authored by one of my favorite internet chefs, and I follow a lot of his recipes. I love how scientific he is. And so this book is actually related to cooking and foods. And so his name's J. Kenji Lopez-Alt. He has a YouTube channel. He used to work for Serious Eats and a bunch of other things. He's a very, very good cook. He's very scientific in the way he approaches food. And so this book is sort of about that. It's about a little girl called Peepo who loves pizza, and she's very scientific about proving that pizza is, in fact, the best, because pizza is the best. And so she goes on a journey around her neighborhood to collect more data about different foods, and she actually learns that there are different cultural foods from her diverse neighborhood. They eat tagine, they eat bibimbap, and they eat dumplings, and she eats all these different things, and she learns that other foods actually taste really good too, and that the moral of the story is pizza is the best, but there are many other best foods as well. And so a great book about different foods, exploring and trying different foods, but also just very colorful and very culturally, eye-opening as well. I learned to pronounce some words, and I look forward to maybe trying some of those foods too. And there's a recipe at the back for her pizza. So that's Every Night is Pizza Night, number 2. Number 3 is Oh, the Places You'll Go. This is a very famous book by Dr. Seuss or Dr. Seuss. And I had seen this book a lot, and you probably have heard of this book and seen it given at graduations or when kids are born. And I just knew it as a book that kind of talked about, the optimistic future of what can come and that kind of thing. And it does talk about that, but as I talked about it in the video when I actually read the book, I loved how it actually doesn't just paint this glowing, rosy picture of the future, how it's so it's such a good message about how there will be times on your journey when you might get a little lost, you might get a little down, you might get a little stuck, but it encourages the reader that it's not. Don't get stuck there. Don't stay in the waiting room. Don't when you're lost, just keep going, and you'll find amazing places and the places you'll go. So I think it's beautiful. I'm so glad that I finally read the book, thoroughly and actually read it, as opposed to just knowing the cover and what it's about. So check out that video if you get a chance, if you haven't read it. So that's number 3. My number 4 book is Do Not Let Your Dragon Spread Germs. I found out this was a series of books, and they have do not bring your dragon to school, or do not, let your dragon do this, or do not bring your dragon to do this. And it's a whole series of books. I found that this book was very relevant because, currently at time of recording, we're still living through the COVID pandemic, and we're in lockdown, and everyone's wearing masks and that kind of stuff. And so it's a good reminder. I mean, the message of the book as well is also how by doing these things, by taking these measures to not spread germs, to try to not spread germs, it's really not to harm people. It's not to make people sad. It's not to keep people away. It's so that we can protect each other. We can keep ourselves safe. We can keep others safe, so that one day we can actually be together, happy again in that way. And actually, the main reason it's on this list, aside from the relevancy, is actually how beautiful the art is. I actually love the art style. I love seeing all the different types of dragons when they're sick and when they're trying to not spread germs. I just love the art style. So that's Do Not Let Your Dragon Spread Germs. That's number 4. Number 5. My number 5 book that I've read that I've really enjoyed. I've mostly enjoyed almost everything I've read. But number 5 is One. This was recommended to me by my daughter's school teacher, Miss L. She recommended to me. I even mentioned it to another school teacher friend, and she said, "Oh yeah, that's a really good book." And so I had no idea what it was about when I started reading, and I was very pleasantly surprised. This was a simple book, abstract with colors and numbers, but the message was so powerful. It was about, anti-bullying, about how it only takes one person to stand up to bullying, and that may give courage to other people to stand up and kind of stop bullying. And in the end, actually, the big red spot, the bully, or I guess I shouldn't spoil it, but there's a good message. There's a great message there about anti-bullying and how we can stand up when we see things, when we see people not being treated right. And so that's One. That's my number 5. And so these are my top 5 that I've read in this past month. I started this channel about a month ago. I've been having just a lot of fun, and I look forward to keep reading. And I look forward to your comments. Thank you for your support. And thank you for leaving comments to let me know what to read and what I can improve on. So until next episode when I'm reading again, be gentle and kind with one another. Bye now.